We've been totally and completely disappointed. He has in some ways been much, much worse than George W. Bush. Because with George W. Bush, you knew what you were getting. There wasn't any question. There was no surprise. No one thought they were going to actually get a two-state solution out of Bush. Okay? Bush had a very simple policy. Israel is always right. The end. Obama came into office with so much expectation. The Palestinians really thought to themselves, oh my God, somebody who can actually say the word Palestine. Do you know that Obama was the first president in American history to say the word Palestine or the word occupation? The first president in American history to say occupation. So when that happened, people were like, oh my God, this is, it sounds like such a small thing, right? Forget about being even, forget about being fair. Just say Palestine, say the word, say Palestine. That enough was amazing. But, as we've seen, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened at all.
So you're saying that our nation spends $3 billion on just trying to bring back pieces?
No. We don't get anything for it. It's not money that we're spending. We just give $3 billion to the Israeli government every year with no strings attached at all. None. Now, by the way, that's just the cash aid that we give them. We also give them about $2 billion in military hardware. But let me explain how this works, because it's complicated and sort of insane. We're the largest arms dealer in the world. We supply the world with its weapons. Israel especially. But in Israel's case, what we do is we give them approximately $2 billion in money with which that they use to buy weapons from us. So we give them $3 billion. Then we give them another $2 billion so that they could buy weapons from us. Think about that for a second. It's like if I gave you $1 so that you could buy $1 worth of material from me. What? But that's how we've done it. It's how we've done it for decades. It's not going to change. No politician would dare stand on the floor of Congress and suggest we cut this money off. That would be it for them. This is the last time they would be able to stand on the floor of Congress. The pro-Israel sentiment here in the United States is so strong. We are so completely married to Israel that the notion of even not just cutting aid, but making it, contingent on something. We'll give you $3 billion as long as you stop doing this. Even that is just like off the table. No one would dare say something like that. Again, the one president who dared say it took it back a week later. That was the question. Yes?
Under what reason is that aid happening? I don't understand how you can say, oh, here's some money, it's happening.
Well, the truth is that when we first started giving that aid to Israel, they were a very young nation. They were just sort of getting off the ground. So, we give a lot of aid. We give $1.5 billion to Egypt. Now, just so you know, we give that $1.5 billion to Egypt so that they maintain the peace process with Israel. So, and then we also give a little more than $1 billion to Jordan for the very same reason. So all in all, $3, $5, $6, $7.5 billion a year, more or less. And if we can get a peace deal between Israel and Syria, we'll probably end up giving Syria another $1 billion too. All of that to sort of maintain sort of stability there. So there was a time, I think, that you could make an argument that Israel needed this money. But that time has come and gone. Israel is a very, very wealthy, very powerful, totally developed country. It's not a developing country. It's not a third world country anymore. It was, but it's not anymore. In fact, their economy is doing way better than our economy right now, actually. It's way better than our economy. But again, this is not up for discussion. There is not, I'm not, it sounds silly to say this, but there is no debate in Washington about this issue. No one questions this. No one stands up and says, I mean, not in Washington, outside of Washington, yeah. I mean, everyone talks about this. But inside of Washington, nobody talks about this. It's not like as though there's some discussion about whether we should talk about maybe lowering this money, or does Israel really need it anymore, etc. The money that we give them comes out to, from what I understand, about $800 per Israeli per year, some large amount of money. So we just hand every Israeli almost $1,000 every year.
So there's no working model for this compensation in state.
Say that again?
There's no working model, so there's no help taken by the
Oh no, there are hundreds of NGOs working on this two-state solution. There are dozens of Israeli NGOs. Peace Now, is a major Israeli NGO. Like I said, the Israelis themselves, the vast majority of the population, they want this. They want a two-state solution. They're happy. They want to just be in peace, living side by side with the Palestinian state, as do the vast majority of Palestinians. And there are, dozens and dozens of organizations on the ground right now in Israel working on this process. Well, that's what this is. That's what, what I was telling you about this summer program is. You get to go there and see what's going on and, help in this process of bringing Israelis and Palestinians together to try to deal with this problem. So there are countless organizations in the United States. There are evangelical organizations in the United States who are working towards a two-state solution. But the powers working against it are at this point so rich and so powerful that it's really hard to sort of get any kind of traction.
If you agree with the government starts putting out the funding to Israel, what would Israel possibly do? Like, are they going to attack us or?
Israel?
Yeah.
Oh no, they can't. No, Israel can't do anything.
So what happens? Like, why are we so scared?
It's the political establishment here that would not allow it. In other words, if President Obama said, that he's going to cut off funding to Israel unless it stops all settlement activity, that would be it for President Obama. Okay? He would finish his term, but that's it. And by the way, that would be it for the entire Democrats too, because if you're even remotely related to President Obama, by party, you're done. In fact, his own party would come out against it. His own party would stand up and rail against that notion. The amount of money that the pro-Israel lobby here in the United States funnels to Congress is in the tens of billions. Almost without exception, every single congressman, senator, and, by the way, president, including Obama, receives millions of dollars from these pro-Israel lobby groups. If they go against sort of those wishes, then that money goes away. And that money goes to their opponents instead. This has happened repeatedly. Repeatedly this has happened. So everybody knows you do not cross the pro-Israel lobby, or you will pay the price for it. Now, let me explain something. This isn't sinister or evil. This is how Washington works. The same is true about the NRA. You don't cross the NRA.